You cannot go higher if you don't have good viper, and he's been a top support player in Worlds for a long time, even longer than me. So I'm actually excited to face him again.
CoreJJ with a beautiful hook!
CoreJJ is very good. He plays very smart, and also I think he's a very good leader.
The counterattack comes down. CoreJJ never afraid.
The turn from CoreJJ is just unreal.
He achieved so many things in young team. They made a world final, and I know it is how hard making a world final.
Our job in the team is similar. If you want to play well in bot lane, you must have player who can lead another one. That's why I think CoreJJ did really well with tactical.
CoreJJ lands a beautiful hook. Plays ready to go in diamond. I think he's dead here. The shot from is out, and Tactical able to pick one up.
I also will teach Lust a lot and try to improve together. And I trust Lust that we can do better.
The Alistair combo. Diamond is getting shut down.
Oh, Giles might get caught.
What a perfect pulverize!
People can see like similarity between us and TSM with like veteran support plus young ADC. So like if you can show the gap, then it is like extra fun.
I think because last time we play in locking stage, not really well, but I think everything will change because after that match we learned a lot, and I think now we are not the same player as that time, so this time we will be playing.
Sword Art already joining here with a heroic entrance. First gonna have to be careful. Good stun by Sword Art. There's the combo. There's the deletion.
In bot lane, it's gonna be permanently fighting, and then someone will bleed no matter what happens, and I'm sure it's gonna be them.
It's going to be a fun match. Two absolute all-time greats in the support role here. Going to watch CoreJJ and Sword Art duke it out with 8 other people on the Rift, but I'm partial to the bot lane matchup overall. But CoreJJ's been talking smack, and I love it. You know, Flash Sword Art online, Suning Sword Art online, TSM Sword Art offline. Yeah, that's what it's looked like, although I do think he can turn it around.
Yeah, I like the pictures that he tweeted along with these, by the way. Yeah, CoreJJ's been firing off, tweets and flame before a lot of their matchups, by the way. He tweeted these yesterday as TSM were squeaking by that win with Golden Guardians, which, you guessed it, they stole Sneak the Baron away as well, similar to like we just saw. And it was a win for TSM, but it was not a comfortable win. And that's where some of the online jabbing and stuff came from, kind of setting up for today's matchup with TSM versus Team Liquid. Because of the struggles that TSM have been going through, you know, CoreJJ and Tactical are ready to put on the pressure. TSM did get, though, as we said, sneaking that Baron away and getting them that big comeback victory where they were then able to focus up and finish it out pretty strongly.
Yeah, it was a great sneaky little Baron call. They delivered the Grubhub dub with that one, and for Valentine's Day weekend, Grubhub wants to reunite you with your favorite food, so use the code GHLCS at checkout for 20% off and orders of $10 or more, and for the chance to score a Grubhub gift card. So tell us who you think delivered the win today by using the hashtag GHLCS on Twitter in order to get a chance to win that gift card. Get it going. Honestly, Spica can well deliver a win here as well for the squad. I think it's going to be a fun matchup. I really am excited about the bot lane because even though TSM has definitely fumbled a bunch in their early and mid games, I really like their bottom lane overall. Like, their laning is good, and when TSM plays around bot lane, it actually has been successful. I know in Countdown I talked about their C9 game, but in the other two they played in week 1, the more they played around bot lane, the more they were rewarded for it.
Also in that game, I remember Huni with the barrel on Gragas. He goes in, body slams the back line, and leaves the barrel there to fully charge, steals away the dragon. That's also a high contender for delivering the victory in my opinion, because that was a soul point dragon. Let's get into this one though, because CoreJJ definitely ready to get on the field. Let's see who's going to get the battle, the better of the battle of the flame.
Yeah, right now, of course, it is Jat against his old team, TSM, if you followed the memes from long enough away. Udyr banned away. That's got to hurt his heart, though. You're the head coach. You ban your only champion you can actually play. That's too
He knows
bad, man.
the power.
Vertical mouse and all, man. He's like, you don't know anyone can play this champion. It's going to be just fine. So Camille, Talia off the table. I mean, we got 3 jungle bans. Alfar is going to lose his Camille. You know, sorry for you, but honestly, yeah, Team Liquid, I feel like, you know, they're expected to win up in top lane. I thought Huni was fine on Gragas, like playing a lane you can kind of ignore. Like I said, I think TSM actually works best when they play around bot side. We had the interview with Spica where he's like, look, we're trying to figure out exactly how we want to play these games out. Like, there's a lot we can do, and you know, 4 games in the regular season, they haven't cemented it down. My vote is they should play around bot side. Sword Art's roams have not gotten much done. Like, he's blown flashes and nothing else happens. But if they just keep playing around them down there and let Huni play weak side, I think it's actually a good look for TSM.
Yeah, I don't think many people would currently vote for playing around Huni. I got to be honest, with the way that things have been going. So that's definitely why they've been prioritizing things like the Gragas pick, where he can remain relatively safe and you know, bring a lot to the team fights. They did already pull out his Gangplank previously, and this was one of his most feared champions back in the day, but it's starting to fade back in people's memories, the days where Huni truly was feared. And then they go with the Azir straight off the bat here. It said 4 Power of Evil. Slam him down. He loves control mages. Syndra's already off the board, so he'll take whatever Jensen wants to throw at him.
Yeah,
I want to see an Echo Freak.
Ooh, yeah, I want to see Echo. I maybe want to see like a hard poke mage, like you know, a Xerath, bring that back from way back when. I know Jensen's not the poke mage kind of player. PoE will play anything realistically, but you know, I tend to like seeing those kinds of class counters come out, but it's hard to rehearse the comp around them. I understand why it's not done very often because you have to play such a different play style. But they're gonna grab a couple of marksmen already. I like the Kane Heaven for Speak Up, but yeah, Graves locked in right away. Jhin can be really solid as well. I mean, you can keep Azir at arm's length if you do this kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's actually pretty interesting to me. With you know, with everything being available for AD carries, Kai'Sa included, which is so many teams have been really willing to go for these deeper dive looks. But as you mentioned, when you face a first pick Azir, you don't really want to have to dive into it because it already comes with self-peel. And Jhin, with a lot of possibilities of setting up long-range snares and picks for the team, definitely a viable option here for tactical. Plus, I've always liked him and CoreJJ with the Jhin combinations. They were really, really good in a lot of the in-houses with going so aggressive, you know, with CC combinations with Jhin. Both in bottom lane looking for kills, but even on the enemy jungler. So we shall see about the Lilia here. Generally, you'll look for more clearing early on, and we shall see if he gets any big sleeps. Spica, because he has definitely hit big sleeps before. We'll see if the new squad will follow up on them.
Yeah, famous 9-man sleep from Worlds. Speaking of Worlds, of course, Sword Art and CoreJJ straight a group stage at Worlds last year. They went 1-1. Suning and Team Liquid did, so we'll see how the rematch looks here. Overall, though, okay, Zoe comes through, so we are going to see poke after all. Zoe, obviously, the way more common pick than Xerath when you're going for a poke mage, so that's kind of the sort of class counter, right? Is mid-range mages can only move so much. You can't always close the gap on a Zoe, so she gets to do her thing, and you can't hit her back all that hard, so that's kind of that look here. We'll see what Jensen can get done, but it means he's got a very, very long-range team, right? A lot of sniping from off your screen. And I'm now curious what the rest of that comp's going to look like because their consistent damage is not that high.
Yeah, and they are going to have to worry about dodging constant bowling balls there from Lilia. Fishing around, both sides can fish for these sleeps. So warding and positioning is going to be really big. As we move down through picks and bans, though, top lane focus still here because Team Liquid are on red side. They can save final counter pick for Alphari. They did it yesterday, and he was very happy. You've talked about it on Twitter. Great coaching. All you have to do is save counter pick for top lane, and it's a pick ban victory there. So I'm assuming that's what they're going to do again, and just pick Core JJ, the support before. And that's also what TSM are thinking, taking out the Rel. Honestly, I feel like Rel right now is actually the premier support. It is the best support right now for me. The engage options are so insane with this champion, and being able to combine off of pretty much any other champion in the game with how flexible she is with multiple CC options. So they take that away from Core JJ. He still could go something like Thresh. A lot of options though, because they honestly, they're going super hard engage. Point and click setup there. That, with a lot of poke, can definitely mean death on a single target.
Yeah, I mean, if you manage to cast R on somebody, they're going to be knocked into the air, and the rest of the skill shots, you kind of can't miss them. So, you're going to get the follow-up at a certain point.
Or you get docked pay.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's like, the dude was stunned for 2 seconds. Like, just click on the guy, Even Graves can do some long-range damage. Obviously, you don't pick him as a poke champ, really, in any general sense, but at least the ult can be shot off from a screen away and deal something. So you can pick those targets off. Lilia, Azir, and Kai'Sa can all be reasonable targets. Kai'Sa probably going to run Cleanse based on the lane she's against, so, Lost can dodge some of it. Nar gets to be the blind pick here for Huni in the top lane. Team Liquid are going to give Alphari counter, at least playing top Nautilus, which I doubt highly. And now they get to pick their own bot lane, which means they get to counterpick AD carry and counterpick support here for TSM. Should be seeing some good stuff out of that lane as a result.
Yeah, okay, Sword Art's throwing it down, picking the Pantheon. It got nerfed for jungle, really good in support still, and wants to go right at Core JJ and Tactical, make him eat his words. Let's see if they could actually make it happen though, because I'm worried for Huni for the Gnar. You get counter pick here for Alphari. I know he's played a lot of Kennen, and I know that, I don't even have to continue on the list.
Yep.
First one off the bat, baby. Go for it, Alphari. Kennen is so good versus Gnar because you have so many options. And even if the enemy jungler comes, Kennen has a lot of outs as long as you save your E. And the ultimate really, really good in those situations too, because Kennen plus Graves, obviously differing damage types, so you can't easily itemize versus both of them, and he can keep up the pressure super, super well.
All right, so we are going to have a few minutes of delay. As I mentioned, we map hack into the future. These games are on a delay. Someone screwed up swapping at the end of Champ Select, so they had to go remake Champ Select and lock in all the champs again. So you got about 4 minutes of this before we actually get onto the Rift. If you need to make a sandwich or go to the bathroom, whatever, decent time for it. You got about 4 minutes till we actually have the game itself.
What's your favorite counter pick of all time, Freak? Like the biggest blasting that you've seen from counter pick? Because honestly, mine was the Yasuo into Gnar way back in the day.
I love that. Darshan against TSM.
Yeah.
In the finals, it was CLG's first title. It was that was super fun.
Honestly, this is my favorite part about picks and bans and being able to slam from red side. When there's sometimes can be a lot of complaining about picks being OP and you having to required bans on red side because blue can just snap up one of those. But I really love to see when teams actually utilize lane matchup counters and then play to them, which is the key part, as we saw with Cloud9 having so many games where you take Ignite for your top laner, then don't play around it. It's gonna go bad.
Yeah, I've got basically two. They're in very different sides of the map. So one is Sylas or Rumble into Malphite. That lane is virtually unplayable for the Malphite. It's really, really bad. You don't have to build MR, but they're going to take the fight to you. They're going to push you in under a turret, and you're going to take damage while doing so. They both can pretty reliably deal some damage to chip the shield off, and then get you in combat so the shield doesn't regen, and that lane's just miserable. It's really, really horrible. In the Sylas case, you get to bring an AP Malphite ultimate, which is just outstanding.
Better.
There's no better ultimate than AP Malphite ultimate, for a Sylas. So, it's literally the perfect champion. That matchup's absurd. There's other ones like Darius into Maokai, which is also unplayable for the Maokai. We saw Someday play once in LCS, I think 2 years ago. That was outstanding. The other side is Nami Morgana is actually really, really rough as well. Even though you can black shield the bubble, which is true. Yeah. There's just not enough gameplay there. Morgan doesn't do enough damage to kill through a Nami heal. So you just have lane control the entire time. You just win the 2-on-2.
Exactly. Just over time, Nami gets to harass you, heal up the entire time. Your lane is just, you're in pain the entire time. I definitely relate to those as an auto-filled support player sometimes.
Just pick and
It's
change.
the worst one. You're like, what do I do? And now you're in this matchup. You're like, is it me? Is it the matchup? I'll say it's the matchup.
You just say it's the matchup. Yeah, of course. How about you, Kobe? What you got? So it was just the Yasuo Nar?
The Yasuo Nar was my favorite one, and obviously with playing so much jungle, there's not a lot of like hard counter jungle matchups, but I do enjoy the little interactions. And with Rek'Sai coming up, and Lee Sin getting buffed on next patch, by the way, things like being able to knock up Lee Sin's, taking Qs or trying to safeguard stuff like that is always fun. But it's like more like little interactions rather than hard counters for that role.
Fair enough. Yeah, I'm just a fan of, and I'm a really big fan of like using solo queue data to at least be a launching off point. Solo queue is not the same as pro. Don't get me wrong. There's always going to be differences there that you can't just quantify from solo queue data. But you can look at things like how bad Malphite's matchup is into basically top lane mages because he wants to be an armor stacker and bot lane, for similar stuff. I don't think pros do sort of enough of that or coaches or analysts do enough of that to be like, hey, look, we're in a really like Maokai top heavy meta game or anything like that. It's like, we should just have drafts ready that include Darius counterpick because at the very least, we practice it like 4 times to go, okay, yeah, we know how to play around top priority. We're good, right? Like, you will at some point as a team, once again, play around top priority. Like, that will happen. You will have another game down the line where your top laner's winning, and you're like, here's how we get Herald easily and whatnot, right? Like, this is not a useless skill to learn. Like, there will be meta games where, like, Juggernauts are good top lane. Like, there's been a million games of rework Mordekaiser. Like, TL did it for the entirety of last year, right? And they were one of the best teams in the LCS. Like, this is not wasted practice. And it's a really good way to just, like, pick up 3 wins because no one's going to ban Darius when they're picking Maokai until you show them that you're going to play the champion, and the game's just over, and you're like, oh, well, that was 1/18th of the Spring Split.
Yeah. The reason I brought up this topic, by the way, is because we're looking at a pick ban phase where with an first pick Azir, TSM actually got counterpicked in both their solo lanes. By early picking your mid like that and then being on blue side, Team Liquid can easily save their last pick for Alphari. You're guaranteeing you're going to get counterpicked in both. Zoe, long range, as you said, poke in lane has always been a factor that circles Azir and has been one of the main factors in counter picks over the years versus that champion. Zoe, good matchup into it. And then, obviously, the Kennen into Gnar. So I think that Team Liquid, with all of the trash talk that went around on bottom side, actually have such good advantages for their solo lanes. That means their jungle is also going to be set up for early priority because of double counter picks. And we shall see what Santorn will be able to get done here as we head on to the Rift and we can settle this here between Core JJ and Sword Art.
The 2 winningest organizations in LCS history. TSM with more trophies than anyone else. Team Liquid in 2nd place in that regard, though they did. Of course, keep in mind, TSM won the summer split. They went to Worlds as the LCS champions. Team Liquid just won the LCS lock-in tournament 2 weeks ago. The question is, can TSM get the rest of their game up to the standards of their mid to late game? Across all the games TSM have played in 2021, counting lock-in as well as the Spring Split, they have had exactly 1 game with a gold lead at 15 minutes, and yet they still managed to get all the way to playoffs in lock-in. They're 2-2 right now. They have had rough early games, but they have managed to turn them around about half the time. The question is, can they find the rest of that in the early game? And with counterpick in bot lane, with a Pantheon support no less to make this one aggressive, I want to see TSM get those leads using Lost and Sword Art.
Yeah, and for the Pantheon pick, while it did get significantly hit for jungle with the Q damage being reduced on monsters as well now, and basically removed them from the jungle, it still is a good pick, especially into all-in supports like the Nautilus, because you can put up your directional immunity when Nautilus all-ins you, and you can use your stun to try and punish on the way out. He has gone for Conqueror as well, and Core JJ on the Nautilus, of course, with the Aftershock, trying to play around that defensive timing. But with your directional immunity, you can just wait it out as it procs early on, and then that's when you save your stun, use your stun when he's trying to disengage, and try and hopefully, with the help of some jungle pressure, get yourself some lane kills.
Alrighty, well, top lane battling back and forth. I'll fire with the early push. Not going to mean too much. It should mean that the wave can bounce back, though. If you do this properly, you manicure the waves correctly, knowing that Lilia started topside clearing towards bot. Actually, I believe that had to be a blind guess because I don't believe either player leashed. But it means Alfaro gets to be under his turret, enjoying safety at 3 to 4 minutes, and will be more or less ungankable unless you dive, which seems unlikely for a Kennen. So he's going to be fine up there. See if he can make Huni overextend and maybe get Santorin to gank as his clear finishes up. Everfrost is up there. Jensen should feel pretty good. Sidestep by PoE. Drowsy, though. This is a big hit, but Q is down. Back up.
Owie.
Good damage.
Zoe, yep, able to walk him down. Jensen, I love it. Being able to take up the Everfrost and force the trade there on PoE, getting a pretty significant health lead as both of them are just chugging straight through their corrupting potion pots. His was chugged a little bit later, so he still should have some more regen coming his way. As we're saying for the Kennen matchup, again, on this one, part of the extra reason why it's so difficult, especially early on for the Gnar, is yes, in mini Gnar, you can play it super safe and just sit back and boomerang, but your attack range in mini Gnar starts out at just the 400, and so you kind of have to default into that boomerang for CS because Kennen outranges you. And gets to, even as much as a meme as it is, and people like to refer to auto spacing, it's very easy with the range advantage for Kennen to do exactly this. You charge up, you can see with his Shining Shuriken, he's got the extra proc for damage on it. You just auto and throw out your Qs with your range advantage and harass the Gnar under tower.
I mean, you saw it right there, right? You saw WE, exactly. Like that's the easy trade. It's like, yeah, I have more range than you, and by playing that range, Huni's like, okay, if I want a CS, I either have to walk up to the minions to take 2 autos, or I Q the minion. It's like, okay, cool, all your cooldowns are gone, because you have Hyper and Hop, and those aren't useful. So, guess what? I will take the trade. All you can do is auto back. I win those, by the way, and Alfaro gets to feel good. He's got a 5 CS lead. Well done to him. Spica gets the first recall off for the Tier 2 boots, double longsword for Santorin. Bot lane, so far, pretty good on the TSM side, 4 CS lead. Spica going to be on a ward killing this, but not a huge problem.
Yeah, and our level 2 of our counter pick discussion, Freak, is then what does that mean for the rest of the team? Because isolation 1v1s are great. You can ego on him. I'm beating him. He's under low health, under tower. I'm getting turret plates. I'm getting CS leads. It really is painful when you can coordinate for dives with your jungler. And we just saw Santorin was in position, but because Huni was able to whittle down on the wave and because Spica was clearing over to that side, they backed off with the red buff fight, though. Santorin stealing away the chicken gets really the last laugh. That is definitely a +1 for jungler ego as well.
Yeah, mid lane had pressure. Jensen was almost putting PoE under his turret, so knew he was at least safe, that there was no way he's getting chased down. Like, none of that was going to be a problem. Even bot lane was in a pretty good spot, so despite the 1 level deficit, still felt good. Jensen going to knock down the wave. Sadly, doesn't kill the minion with the bubble on it. Zoe does have to, in fact, last hit to get the bubble, to get the free spell thief. So ultimately, yeah, nothing to pick up there and has to kite away, or at least run away, I should say. No kiting involved. Bot lane, 3v2, no slow.
Yeah, I was looking for, can we see the Pantheon set up here for jungle pressure? Not going to be the case with the seed exploding on the wall there. Tactical and Core JJ just waiting for the wave to come to them. There's no reason. They don't have to overextend at all, put themselves in any sort of danger. Will fall right into their hands.
Cannon minion claimed, a little bit of damage down in mid, damage down in bot lane as well. But you can see that, look, there's like 7 CS up here, but the CS lead is 13. So this is TSM winning the 2-on-2 straight up. I don't believe he's seen any jungle intervention on either side. They are just doing better in the 2-on-2, so good job to them. Still, though, it is a 500 gold lead to Team Liquid. This is what you talked about. It's TL having counter pick in mid. Oh, okay! Nice try on the ulti. Jensen just going to get some damage and walk away. Has to burn his flash, though, to live. So nice play out of PoE. Got counter-picked, but now with the flash burn, could feel good. Huni and Santorin trading blows. Gets the honey fruit.
And because mid just got pushed out, there's no way Santorin sticks around at all. So Scuttle Crab goes over to TSM, goes over to Spica. The only little change I would make for Jensen there in that trade, after flashing out, even though he landed the sleep onto PoE, you can save like 2 seconds. Instead of going back in for the auto to proc the minimal damage, if he walked back and just started his recall a little bit earlier, could get there back. But, when you land asleep, you're like, but man, I need to...
It's 200 damage for this auto. I know. Yeah, not worth. Oh well. It is something given away. Ultimately, though, as Huni tries to last hit the wave under turret, it's been tough. He doesn't have any AD. He had to rush Merc Treads, which I understand. You don't want to be stun locked by the cannon when the all-in potential comes in, but it means he doesn't have any damage to last hit any of the minions. Has to drop some more CS, and it's a 20 CS deficit top side. Like Alphari is clapping up there, and again, there really haven't been any jungle ganks.
It's because like I was talking about for Solon, like it's so Kennen favored, and even when you get to this point, now we're into level 3, post level 6, when they have their ultimates available, Gnar doesn't even have the option of trying to go for the hop on Kennen's head, gain extra distance, because of the nature of the ultimate. Giant AoE locks you into those CC combos like you're talking about, which is why you rush the Merc Treads. Also getting pushed out of river here. Nice presence in mid. PoE pushes up the wave to Zoe's tower and is able to lend some extra pressure there for Spica to head through and secure this vision. TSM with great vision coverage over the bottom side.
Shield comes in, not a lot of damage dealt right there. Level 6 for Tactical. Could choose to open up with the ulti. Will not go for it as there's not really a play to be had. And they're just going to sit there in the 3v3. Corday sitting in the brush. Sword Art more or less the same. Flashes in for the big play. Stun at Tactical. He's going to flash away with his cleanse back on. And the re-engage is beautiful. First blood comes across. Already 1-0. The sleep comes across. CoreJJ is 1 hit away, and Speak is going to find that kill. Can't get the slow. Lost a bit low. W's going to land. Not more to be grabbed. But a 1-for-1. Snipe not going to hit there either.
All right, we call it a draw, Freak. Both supports down. CoreJJ and Sword Art both fighting the dust here. Lost, very good job following up, by the way, to finish off that kill with the extra plasma stacks on CoreJJ. Goes in, makes sure he gets it. Doesn't have to burn his flash either. Huni goes for the all-in here onto Alphari.
Yeah, a couple of ults back and forth. Huni finally goes back to Mini Gnar, but his health bar is still good. Alphari forced to flash away. Huni! Nicely done, turn on the tables in the matchup, but if you cannot deny this farm, he is still going to be very far behind. Flash lead obviously going to be nice, don't get me wrong. Alphari, yeah, afraid of getting dove.
Okay, so here's another look, and this is just after Sword Art denied the previous engage. What a flash there, dodges out on the hook, gets the stun, but instantly gets killed because he had just used his immunity in the last engage from CoreJJ. Then Lost is able to follow up. No more bullets for Tactical, so Lost is able to get the counter kill there, but cooldown still up there for Sword Art on the shield. So on this one, it wasn't able to survive.
I do have to point out the wasted ignite again by Sword Art. This is, I talked about it in Countdown, but he's igniting while his opponent's stunned, and it means the cleanse is getting the stun and the summoner spell. You have to wait until they cleanse your stun before you ignite. It takes a quarter second. Most AD carries are running cleanse nowadays anyway. Like, you ignite early if they run heal, because you want to cut that by half. I get that. But if they're running cleanse, you need to wait on the ignite. This is a mistake that he does need to clean up, because you're just wasting you're wasting the entire summoner spell.
And you have range you can be able to cast it with too, so you have a little leeway there.
If they flash, you're still in ignite range.
Yeah, if they try and get out, but Alphari gets pushed all the way out of top side. Huni been able to bide his time, gonna go for the reset here. Dragon should be picked up there by Team Liquid in response because of everybody heading up to top side there for TSM, but TSM cashing in pretty quickly on that Rift Herald.
This one's nice, and I like this one. You know, we're going to keep talking about Sword Art, but he walked away and made sure that the plates that were easy to grab went to Lost by himself, didn't take any of the gold, and then shows up once it's time to knock down the turret by itself, so puts in the autos, and that's going to be, first trip TSM. They're playing around the duo lane. They got counterpick. They, found a good aggressive play. They get first trip because the Herald into swapping it to the other side of the map. This is good. This is TSM with a gold lead. Cash towards Lost, who's going to be one of the big carries here. I like this a lot.
Meanwhile, Tactical as Jin trying to belt away and mine some turrets by hand, or some turret plates by hand, and it still should be able to get the mid lane reset here. Jensen running straight back to lane, switching over to an extra combat summoner with his spellbook, but it is a double pushed in wave here from Speak and PoE trying to gain control first. Still picked up by Team Liquid though is the Dragon in response.
Yeah. And TSM didn't spend a lot of the pressure going for Dragons, but they are going to be still the team with the gold lead. Team Liquid with one Dragon picked up. We got a Mountain Drake second, so it'll be an Ocean or an Infernal Rift, thus Ocean or Infernal Soul. Once you figure out what the Dragon number 3 is going to be, that's going to be a high prize, though. I think teams really, really like both those a lot, so will be something to watch for if we're going to get, a 27-minute Dragon Soul or something.
I also like the swap from TSM for another reason, because not only does Nautilus gain so much more for lane at level 6 at that breakpoint, because point-and-click ult is obviously going to be way better than the Pantheon Global in lane for the follow-up kill, but by trading the outer towers and forcing lots of extra damage on the outer towers, they gain more room to try and push up in the lanes to try and get value out of the Pantheon Global.
Nice, gets the shuffle back onto Jensen. Flashless, easy kill onto Zoe. Nicely done. Spica grabs the kill, makes sure it got handed over. Nicely played all around by TSM. 2-1 in kills to keep the gold lead.
And that's the part where Azir gets the laugh. Whenever Zoe R's forward, you have a really easy spot to go in, sweep her back, and PoE goes right in, gets Jensen out there with the summoner spell switched over to the barrier. A little bit of extra shielding, not going to save you in these situations. A nice coordination from TSM to increase that gold lead, which will stand, only to the 2 extra turret plates whittled off on bottom side, so they should be able to keep their extra map pressure going.
All right, beautiful stuff right now. We'll see what comes next. Of course, you got to keep moving the ADK around. Let Lost mine some turret plates. Still got a minute left on plates. Back to the bottom lane. Hasn't managed to grab one down there just yet, but if the team comes across it, it may still happen, of course. 20 CS lead remains topside for Alfari, more or less. Jungler's pretty close, but 2 kills on Spica makes him the gold leader. Did go for the medic build. Does have the Moonstone Renewer down there and decides that, yeah, it's going to be slower fights and I've got enough damage in the team. There's logic to it. I don't super love the build always, but it can make sense in this game.
Yeah, I mean, I do like it in this one because PoE on the Azir going to carry a lot of your AP threat, and their team fight is looking pretty massive. If they can keep either Azir ultimate or Gnar to mark the Kennen to make sure that Alfari doesn't get a big initiation for themselves.
All right, Flashstone comes across. Knew he was going to go for the plate, but now they might find the rest of the engage. Damage on CoreJJ, has to kite away. Tries to run, finds an ulti, which gets, I believe, immune by Swordart. He's behind him now. And there is not an easy way out for the Team Liquid duo lane. The scoop comes across. Kennen tries to buy some time. It is a 2-for-1 so far, though. Double kill for Power of Evil. Hooney's here in the Gnar backline as well, and he wants another. It's already 3 kills picked up. It's a quadra kill for Power of Evil, and TSM took that personally. What a beautiful fight.
Oh my goodness, TSM just cleaning up here, freaking the bottom lane where it all started before the game even began. Sleep lands.
I don't think he can reach him. Nice by Lost to get in the way to block the Q.
All right, and it dissipates. All right, Jensen, decent look there. Everybody around able to protect their teammates. Nice little dodges there from Tactical JJ. As you said, though, Pantheon up into the air to jump to the backside means there's nowhere for them to go. They just wait for PoE to come in. Flash sweep here right into death, even with the Kennen ultimate on. Rest of TSM able to get back into the brush. The Moonstone healing actually helping out significantly in this little scuttle here. For the rest of the members to try and heal back up within the alcove. Jensen.
Yeah, has to burn his flash to stay alive. Goes for poke. This is dangerous. If Swordart had to queue back up, thankful for the cooldown nerf, I suppose. Does survive it, though, Jensen, as he has to run away now. Bot lane turret under fire. Plates are already gone, but Demolish is on. And TSM finally solved their early game issues. This is the second game all year that they have had a gold lead at 15 minutes. And they're doing it against Team Liquid, who are the best early game team in the league. I mean, it is great to see TSM do so much better in this one.
LCS is always a known drama freak, and TSM just kind of losing a lot of early games. Just when everyone is just hitting that panic button, oh my God, the sky is falling, they're trashed at the bottom of the tables. They come out strong versus Team Liquid. Tower number 2 down for TSM. Now step 2 of the game plan, though, with the team having really good scaling in team fight situations, and speak of building for the team fight with the healing onto Lilia, they need to take control of the dragons. This is going to be a very important next step for them. If 2 go over to Team Liquid, then it pushes the Soul out really deep into the game, and you don't get to pull Team Liquid to your setup as easy as you would want to do with this squad. So very important, pick up the Dragon here for TSM. Even though it's pretty deep in, 16.5 minutes already, they do clean that one up and try and set themselves up for a better situation. Because then all you have to do is ward your flanks, make sure that Alfari doesn't have any good teleport wards to get in on, and you should be able to win those team fights. Team Liquid, they got to look for some of this pick. You know, Zoe fishing for bubbles constantly. Tactical is able to follow very easily onto Jhin, but TSM aren't letting them find those. They group up once again. 4 members try and push down.
A little bit of damage. Turret's on a half HP though. Yeah, no chance to sleep. Nice try there for Jensen, but it's not going to be much of anything. Power of Evil, obviously gigantic, is going, already has the Merc Treads, but going towards the Banshee's Veil as well. A lot of the defensive itemization got buffed. At least the magic resist itemization got buffed. Banshee's Veil is a much stronger item in this patch than it was a little while ago, so it makes a lot of sense to grab that one pretty early on. Gonna feel good here. PoE obviously gonna be quite comfortable in this game with all the gold he has. High SCS in the game, most kills in the game. Hasn't been part of the turrets too often, but that's fine. He's still a rich man. He's still gonna feel really good about this one. Has a level lead on everyone else in the game as well. So yeah, eyes are on him to carry the team fights. Although I think the rest of TSM can still put in plenty of work as well. Tactical playing defensively top side, wants to make sure he's not getting dove or anything. Still gonna play the wave a bit safely, let PoE push into the turret.
Yeah, these are always the types of setups that PoE has excelled at through his career too. Heavy resource, lots of gold funneled into him, carry champion, kind of showing the confidence and why they early pick the Azir. Blue side first pick, locking it in, slamming that one down. Weak side though, Huni actually jumps in at the tower with 3 Team Liquid members circling.
And Alfari thought he was going to get comboed into the turret with like the rest of the squadron. He burned Zonia's because he was afraid of getting CC comboed. I get it. It makes total sense. I mean, it would have been 700 health missing, but now Huni is stuck. Minion under the turret. Ult comes across. No way to live. Santorin ults for good measure, and that is a kill in the bottom lane. Team Liquid's first one in a while.
All right, TSM pushing on top side. I don't know if they actually will have the time to actually answer, though, because the minion wave is so far away from the turret. So Team Liquid, good little counterpunch from them. They do have to continue to look for pickoffs on TSM. Tactical here going to give it plenty of distance, so it actually ends up also just being a trade back for TSM. Another tower down.
All right, TSM still holding on to a 2,000 gold lead. Pretty solid for 19 minutes in. That's going to be a comfortable one for sure. As we saw a little while ago, they did tie up the Dragon score. We're headed towards Ocean Rift, so a lot of healing coming across in this game. No rush till Soul, obviously. You've got at least 13 minutes till that comes across. You don't have to super rush for Executioners, but keep in mind that with Speakit going for the more medic build, this is going to be something you're going to have to land.
And this play, you don't really need another play-by-play of it because it's 3 members and it's full CC chain. It does continue to open up the map here as TSM have done a good job of keeping up on pushing on the outers on the other side of the map. And so it is giving them, and you can see the wards that they laid behind, this opportunity.
Well, has to cleanse Gale Force away from the Pantheon stun. Gets the summoner out of him. Flash still down regardless. Another stun comes across from Huni. And now the reinforcements will arrive. So it's going to be a 2v2. Half health bar finds the slow, finds the shuffle on the 2 of them again. Huni sets it up and PoE knocks him down.
Oh my goodness, that feels good for PoE again. 5 kills on the Azir now. Huni also happy because he's got reinforcements this time. The team is around. TSM another counter move here, and they're just making the lock-in champs look like chumps, Freak.
Yep. Absolutely beautiful stuff, though. I mean, TSM are going to be tied at the scoreboard, 3-2 with TL after this one. A lot of discussion was, hey, TSM, you're lucky to be 2-2. You're lucky that Golden Guardians and CLG threw against you, but TSM this time around, they are taking it to TL. They are absolutely saying, look, we are the better team. And, a turnaround off of a very rough Friday. They are looking great today on Saturday.
It's constant punishment on TL plays as well. The bottom side play was initiated by them, and it's TSM looking for these punish opportunities. Very well timed thus far. Got to keep track of those teleports, my friend. Very, very important cooldowns when the map is so open on the side lanes and you're going for these picks. Huni sees the great ultimate. Full CC lockup right there. Instantly takes them to half health. And PoE, the cavalry has arrived. Shurima's behind you, Huni. Sweeps him right back in for the double kills.
Yeah, breaks their stride, knocks them into the wall, and the rest of it was absolutely beautiful. So the builds continue on. Oh, interesting. PoE gets actually get a stop on Verdant Barrier and finish Void Staff instead. So not going full Banshees, although it's still efficient to do so. Doing this build instead. All right, fair enough. Obviously, it is an efficient item. Don't hate it at all. It makes total sense. You're just getting enough durability.
Just don't get hit by the bubble.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but it is still like a good set of stats, obviously, with Kennen and Zoe being, very easy to reach backline in some cases. It's like, yeah, I'm just not going to die to the, the all-ins, and then it's fine. So, okay, sure. Void Staff in, Death Cap next. Not a big issue. TSM grow their lead to 5,000 gold. Their second dragon's been claimed. They're knocking out even more of these turrets. They're already at 6. Now, TSM are just walking away with this one.
They cleaned it up just in time for the marquee game. Team Liquid now, again, okay. We got to play hard mode because with that last few consecutive plays from TSM, Team Liquid, their options are dwindling very quickly here. And it feels bad to say, but it really is going to rely on a little bit. Oh, never mind. Santorin actually with the Grave Spread just aggroes the Baron. He wasn't going to start it up. It is going to rely on a little bit of luck on catching a TSM member out, but there are things you can do in this game to increase those chances, increase your odds in your favor, and most of them come down to vision control so that you can actually take advantage of a TSM member that is pushing too far up or misallocating in their late game assignments. And CoreJJ is on the forefront trying to do that. You see they're trying to get their vision established around the Baron preemptively before TSM can take over.
They're going to try as hard as they can. We know Baron is alive and has been for 3 minutes. TSM fighting over the stealing of the Raptor camp. Santorin wants to knock down a ward, but yeah, will not be zoned out by Power of Evil, so he will indeed get to claim some of that vision back. We do know TSM still own the top river for now. They can even cheat in towards Jensen and CoreJJ and maybe find something else here. Bubble not going to land, and they say, okay, it's a 2v3. We'll get away from this one. We'll just win elsewhere as mid's pushed in. Huni gets to move across, and yeah, TSM going to have all 5 members now in this northern jungle.
And what you want to do on your TSM's position with that advantage is just farm the entire enemy jungle. They took down all the secondary turrets, so you're able to just cut off the extra income from Team Liquid, and you further increase this lead. Spawn after spawn, everybody's taking a part in the duty. Huni clears out on bottom side, rest of the squad clears out that red quadrant. There's nothing left for Santorin. Jungler always starts to feel pain this late into the game because the opponents are taking your camps. Even your own team are kind of scavenging, so they start to take them. Huni's going to try and get this Gromp before Santorin gets there, but I think Santorin gets in range. He's got Smite.
He gave away his info. He gets it, though,
Good pickup there, but it's the small things. When you've got him down, when you have the advantage, you have your foot on there, you don't let up on the gas, basically.
Nope. And they're doing a good job. Obviously, they're stacking dragons as fast as possible, but that's got an obvious timer. It's every speedrunner's most hated thing. It's an auto-scroller. You actually just cannot get Dragon Soul faster than 50 minutes after the first dragon you claim. There's just no way to speed it up. People looking for a skip for a while. There's a bounty out for it, but yeah, sorry, bud. You just got to wait the whole time. So other than that, they've got to find something else to do. And it's, well, you can poach jungle camps. You can set up Baron. If there's ever, too big of a lapse in vision, then you can finally claim that one. But that's kind of the only thing that TSM can really pressure towards is, yeah, the occasional jungle camp steal and Baron setup.
All right. When's it going to break out here then? Because it always builds up. Next dragon is just going to be number 3. I doubt Team Liquid want to risk it there. They're still actually hoping for a possible ward to live so Alphari can get a good flank opportunity off. But TSM are cleaning pretty much everything out. Maybe they just wait until they can, oh, never mind. Opportunistic hook.
And that's what we were talking about, the CC, but Power of Evil just barely stays alive. Just barely. The sleep was broken instantly. The flash gets him to safety, and he walks out with his life.
Can they try and do anything with map pressure? With PoE being forced off, then you try and look forward. You try and move up your vision. Maybe somebody else, is caught out of line, and you're able to follow up. Doesn't look like it. PoE slinks out. TSM have it fully under control still, just holding Summoner's Rift on lockdown.
Alrighty. Vision control still being played for, though. Defensive control over tactical means they can knock down one of these wards. They've actually got Sword Art recalling on a ward. Yeah, but he knows enough. He knows when they're coming around. Going to recall in safety. TL not going to find a pick down here. And as the teams heal back up, get back on the map, Power of Evil burned his teleport to make sure he's there on time. We got Dragon number 3 spawning in 10 seconds. TSM's third Dragon, I should say. It's the 4th of the game. And that's going to go to them no problem.
Okay. Continue fishing for Team Liquid. But honestly, I wonder if TSM push it a little bit quicker and a little bit more risky. And after they pick up this Dragon, continue to try and force on Baron. Yes, Team Liquid are going to poke around. They're going to try and throw these Zoe bubbles at you. But they're in such a solid spot here for TSM after the Dragon pickup. They have a lot to gain. All you have to do, keep Huni in the side lane, keep his Gnar bar at a manageable level for Rage, and constantly threaten the pincer onto Team Liquid.
And here we go. Centauron at least able to grab chickens. A little bit of income going his way, but TSM, that control ward in the Baron Pit hasn't gone away in a while. Like, it's for sure got that swirly gold aura where it's like, it's been alive for a while. Your ward didn't get killed.
The all-star control ward.
And it's in Baron Pit. Like, that's outstanding. That's a very, very good ward. You know, it's got the little swag token down there, and, you know, the blue trinket was used, but, oh, no! Spica, you killed your ward! It was, I mean, this is a good ward, too, don't get me wrong, but rip the long-standing ward.
Heartless, you served your purpose. Goodbye. We've got a newer, better, faster, stronger ward here up behind Red.
That ward's dying in under a minute. Like, he killed Cortej's ward, and they're going to go retake their jungle, like, right now, and that ward's going to die.
I will say that, there's a high chance of it. This ward is living a riskier life, though. You know, that ward is trying a more dangerous mission. It's like, all right, don't worry, TSM. I'll keep my eyes on that Zoe. I'll let you know when that bubble's coming. You're not going to lose this game. There's no way.
Yeah. You know, like the one in Baron Pit was, you know, a nice index.
Oh, that was it too. It didn't even get killed.
Yeah, that was the GameStop of wards. It had such a short life, you know.
Oh!
And look, we're just back. We're just back to the safe one, right? We killed a ward with it, and it's like, yeah, you're right. We're back on. We're back on the S&P 500.
This one,
oh no!
It's gonna go down just as quick.
Oh no! Oh, hey, you know, there's the first spike. All right, now quickly sell it off.
Get out of there, get out of there.
Sell. Goodbye, ward. All right.
Honestly, this whole game is just going to devolve into this. It's literally Team Liquid like, can we get a lucky pick? Oh no, we can't, Jensen!
Oh no, Jensen flashing over the wall, might stay safe. They can't find the anchor toss either. There we go, Jensen tries to find the poke, and oh, he just died. Lost collects the kill. And are we surprised any TSM game is all about 5 wards? I mean, realistically, that's just the memes write themselves.
That's an old one, but I'll let it pass.
Yeah, this one checks out. For sure it does. So, over the wall goes Huni, and hey, look, Baron has begun. They brought back the ward. Huni's going to buy some time. And I have seen this before as well. Power of Evil plus one person just doing Baron as fast as possible. No one's here. It took them 30 minutes to make sure they got the rest of it. We're not going to get a sneaky ultimate to come through, and it is going to be the claim. Nicely done, Power of Evil, for the last hit right there as Death Cap is completed, and TSM continue their absolute stranglehold over this game.
If we were in the stadium, Freak,
you
would hear it now. TSM.
I'm sure that's delayed for everyone online. To me, I was synced with you, Kobe. I don't know what it sounded like to you, but I was with you on that one.
Sounded great. Oh,
thanks,
buddy.
man.
All right. TSM now with Baron buff. They've got to march on breaking one of these inhibitor turrets. The big final straw here. 1.5 minutes, so you don't want to go tower diving or anything too crazy. You don't need Sword Art, Pantheon ulting in behind enemy lines. But you just go by the books. Push up multiple lanes with your Baron buff. Nobody even has to get super close to the minions. You've got Baron buff. You can actually just buff up the minions, let them push. So you get all 3 lanes up at the Team Liquid doors. Then just quickly retreat, instantly kill the dragon, and with your Ocean Soul and victory pretty much assured, you can look to end after that.
Well, here we go. 55 seconds. Ocean Soul is going to be an easy one. Don't need to overextend. pushing in the waves cleanly, though. Lost getting solo XP and solo gold up there. He's got 5 levels over Sword Art because he's going to selflessly give away XP and make sure everyone else is going to be the big carries. Smart play down there as Huni pushes in the bot lane. That turret's basically gone, and indeed it's been claimed. Lost takes a couple of shots from Santorin, but still reasonably safe. Plays behind the cannon minion. Jensen can't find much more than just poking that down. Huni safely going to knock down the inhibitor. Middle inhibitor. Turret going to drop there as well. And TSM, they could have played the very, very safe road towards Dragon, but they know they can claim more of these turrets as well with the gold lead they have, and indeed Team Liquid going to give them that. Lost, yep, still, again, playing behind the minions enough that he's never getting hit by Zoe, even if it's bad. He's got the QSS. On Pantheon, actually not on himself, but he's got a stopwatch, which isn't too bad. Ults in, finds damage, goodbye, deletion. Hello, Jensen is dead, and they don't need Dragon Soul. TSM just gonna win the game outright. Sword Art puts on some Cloud9 flare for good measure, and this is the push now to end the game.
I hope he tweets something out. I hope he tweets something after the game with, with how spicy it's been. TSM, they basically have just sent TL back a year.
Oh, this is death. This is death. The attempt for Alfari. A bunch of Zonias, though, keep him alive. Alfari can't get a single kill. The snipes are going to try. Sword Art's not even going to burn down. They're going to find the kills. They're going to find the game. Time to change your name because TSM won.
Oh, the wholesome music. Hoonie's cheering. Finally get some pop-offs here. That's one to be proud of, you know, because some of the other TSM wins, even after it, they're looking down, you know, they got themselves out of a tough situation, but this one really, really deserved from beginning to end. They pick strong team fighting. They use teleports really well for multiple counters on Team Liquid aggression. And then once they have the advantage, they just play it by the book, step by step. They don't want to let a comeback scenario pop up on their screens. So they slowly starve out Team Liquid, taking jungle resources, keeping them bottled up so that the vision expires, wards start to go down, and they just finish it out. Looks decently slow by the end of it, but that just shows how unassailable it is for TL, trying to find a pick to get back in it. And I think the closest one would probably be that PoE one, where that was definitely a little close. He's squeezing at the end, but he is able to slide out and TSM deny any sort of comeback there for Team Liquid.
Yeah, honestly, really, really pleased with TSM down there. The counter punch in bot lane was what did it all, the Quadra on Azir, and it's like, well, suddenly we have all the control in the world. They got a bunch of dragons in a row, and during the Baron buff, closed the game out. So well played to TSM, a well-deserved win. They are 3-2, which I believe ties them for second or third right now, which is actually a pretty solid performance after knocking down Team Liquid. And after the break, we're going to hear from Huni in the Verizon postgame interview, so don't go anywhere.
Many of us are working from home and adjusting to new coworkers. Coworkers who borrow supplies and always interrupt meetings. A gift can help. And when you use your MasterCard, you have security benefits that keep you protected, so your purchase ends up in the right hands or mouth. And your staff can start something priceless.
Welcome back to the LCS, everyone. After such a renowned victory against Team Liquid, we just had to hear from TSM's Huni. Now, Huni, that was a different style victory than the ones we have seen before from TSM. What was the difference maker here today?
I think for sure I can say that the thing is like today we won. The victory is like huge because like compared to last week or like what we just had like the 2 wins or like from the Luckin tournament, it was like we didn't really play well or like close the game like really well. Like but actually today we made it out through like all the stuff that what we wanted to do like from the practice. I think that's why like every 5 people were like really celebrate each other after victory, and it was like amazing.
Yeah, I heard Freak say during the actual broadcast how I think that was only the second game where TSM had the gold lead at 15 minutes, which just shows how much you were all dominating right from the start. Now, looking specifically at your play, though, it's been a pleasure getting to see you experiment with different styles, playing weak side in some cases, some picks that we don't necessarily traditionally see you on in past seasons. So what has that been like for you developing as a player to be the best person you can be for this TSM squad?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. That's why I think I was like really struggling, like from the Luckin tournament or like even week 1. I think I should a lot like not actually we're playing like not as a team, and that's why I was like struggling a lot. And as individually, even as a team too. I think most I was like that's why I think I was playing bad. And right now, I think I'm really just happy to see. I mean, happy to show up that to the crowd, to the fans, or like to the even coaching staff or to the teammates that. We're a team right now, so that's the big diff.
Yeah, the big diff is being a team. I mean, multiple members from TSM after some of the losses remarking that communication and synergy was still needing work on. But we saw moments in this game where you and the rest of the team were working so well together to make those plays happen. If you have to evaluate where you are in that progress of working on that cohesion, how much progress do you feel you've made even just in the past week or since lock-in?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'll say the practices among was not like long, not as much as like the past season or like past year, because there was like new tournament from the lock-in tournament, which is like it came up just new, and it's like we didn't really have a lot of time to practice like enough compared to like other season. That's why it was like we kind of felt new, and we also it's a nearly completely new team, even though we're like veteran like player. Like there's like Sorter, me, Tristan, like Spica, and Lawrence. Like the Lost, it's like we're just like completely like new. Like we didn't really play the last seasons like together, like not at all, not even close. So I think that's the like really big key that I think if time goes longer, the advantage is for us. That's what I feel.
And getting wins like this is also a big factor in getting to that point, because guess what? Getting the win against Team Liquid means that you're actually tied with them, and I believe EG in the standings as well, potentially. So just from your heart, speaking out to the TSM fans, when we're all trying to evaluate where should TSM be in this current competitive scene, what do you have to say for all that are following along for the ride?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm gonna be honest. Like, I don't know. Like, it's really hard to like judge even ourselves too, because like I think if you're playing like actually Scream or like how we actually doing practice, I think it's gonna be we can actually judge really high. But the thing is, like right now, I think what I see in my perspective, I think like from the screen, from the practice, and then what we're showing on the stage, like there's a lot of differences. There's like I would say there's a lot gap that we're not actually playing well as much as like practice. I think as long as the gap is the more closing, I think it'll be really good for us that we can actually even judge like, of course we're gonna play off like no matter what, and honestly our goal is just winning Spring Split for now.
Hey, and after seeing today's games, I'm sure a lot of TSM fans are getting pretty excited about the potential of this squad. Huni, thanks for stopping by.
Appreciate it.
Maybe not the predicted results for the Team Liquid fans out there, but TSM fans are mighty happy. Let's continue breaking down that game on the State Farm Analyst desk.
Thank you very much, the Tigress. I would like to formally welcome TSM to the LCS. 5 games in at a record of 3-2. This is much more the type of game, not only in result, but also in style of play, I think that we had expected to see from a very early part of this split. And Primal, we had this, I'm so happy actually that we had the discussion about what was wrong with TSM before today, because I think they also answered a few of those questions that we raised just a few hours ago.
They did. I mean, I think TSM heard us talking smack, and they took that personally. This is one of the 2 games that they finally managed to get ahead in the early game. And not only did they convert that into a victory, they really crushed it. But I'd love to talk about the ways in which they crushed it. You know, we had PoE actually outlaning Jensen significantly. He burned the flash 1v1, then converted that into a kill when he got a little bit of help from the gank. Obviously, he got that insane quadra kill of a TP bot. And just in general, it looked like not only was he stepping up as a superstar player that we know he can be, but he was really coordinated with the team, as we saw when he supported Huni down there.
I think a number of players had some of their best games of the spring season so far. I mean, the bot lane as well. Sword Art on the Pantheon, that was one of his signature picks back in the LPL last year and also at Worlds. You know, it was such a strong pick. It had been dominating jungle, but now that it's been kind of freed from having to go jungle, you know, it's off the ban list a lot of ways. He was able to bust it out here. And this whole huge 5v5 that broke out in the bot lane, I mean, everyone played this pretty well. Huni had a great game as well, but the man who was picking up all the kills to have the best scoreline, of course, was PoE, and he did have a great game as well.
A fight like that shows the kind of proactivity that we want to see out of TSM in generating leads early. Another play that, whether or not it's proactiveness or reactiveness, shows an amount of communication and synergy would be between both Huni and Power of Evil, again in the side lane, doing work.
And I think here Huni addressed a bunch of memes. One about him as a player and not being very good. This is, you know, this was a play where PoE picked up the kills, but I think it was actually all Huni with a beautiful Gnar stun, setting this up so PoE could complete the kill. And him picking Gnar, right? We were hating on Gnar, at least I was before, and he blind picked it. He did super well in the matchup versus Alphari despite getting counterpicked, and he was able to provide the team with the CC and initiation that they needed. So great job, Huni.
Yeah, Huni was incredible. And him and PoE kind of felt like the 2 tag teams over the course of this game, I think the most, more than anyone else. And for PoE, for me, this is like the PoE I've been waiting to see for quite a while now. I mean, you have to remember this guy's history. He was 3rd place on CLG all the way back in 2019 summer. Then he gets 2 second places with FlyQuest and goes to Worlds. And it just felt like I hadn't seen that player until today. And he has been so incredible. All of his numbers are way, way, way up for this game. And has just been a really, really big force for the team. I expect to see that continue to improve because he's someone who has a unique way of approaching the game, you know, and he wants to play the control mages. And sometimes you have seen moments where the team and him take some time to figure out how they want to play, even referencing that CLG team that I said made, you know, 3rd place in summer. That spring, they had struggled a lot. So I do think that there can be learning periods with PoE.
Yeah, well, acknowledging a huge step up here for Power of Evil, as well as all the work that he's doing for my fantasy team this week. Thank you very much, sir. I also need to acknowledge I received word that unfortunately some of High's audio from earlier didn't go through, so I just wanted to circle back, High. If there's anything that you still want to say based on that first replay, feel free, or we can move right along with any other remaining thoughts you have on the way this game goes down.
Mic test. I think I'm back. I will take 100% fault on that. That is not any of the producers' fault. Please don't be mad at them. Be mad at me. I tripped over my cord earlier and messed up some things. I didn't realize it's broken. But anyway, I was saying that when I used to be a player, I realized something that was really important was that you want to be the first one to the fight if there's going to be a committed fight. So in that bot lane play, you'll notice that Power Evil got there a lot faster than Jensen did. And even though, you know, faster, it was like by 5 seconds. Those 5 seconds matter because he got a huge ultimate because of his positioning. And moving forward, I want to see teams be there first at the fights that are going to be a committed team fight. It's something that a lot of people don't put priority on, and it shows that the teamwork is getting better, and it shows that you understand like how to win games because it's from teamwork, right? You're not going to 1v9 most games. You're going to be 5v5ing. And if you're there first, it's more often than not you'll win that fight.
Totally. Let's circle back on that conversation that we kicked off on the top of the day, which was around the 2-2 record for TSM and whether or not ultimately that was, a legitimate representation of their ability in overestimation, underestimation. Mark, you weren't a part of that conversation originally. So after today's game, 3-2, taking down Team Liquid of all teams, what's your assessment? Where do you put them?
Oh, God, I hate to be, like, super pessimistic because I don't think that they're that bad. I mean, you were like, TSM has finally arrived to the LCS, and it's like, well, they were 2-2. What about all those teams below them? Where are they? Are they, like, even in the right state? Like, where are these players? So, like, on that regard.
I didn't think that far down my analogy, Mark. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so, like, for me, I'm like, okay, TSM's clearly better than a lot of the teams in the LCS. I think that part's indisputed. But I still am struggling to see some of it from those 2-2 wins. That they were definitely a lot of, like, come-from-behind victories. But I can see the upward momentum right now, and so I'm feeling a lot better if I'm a TSM fan watching this game.
All right. Well, again, I love to see TSM rather challenging Team Liquid to the degree in which they did. To me, it speaks to what can be a very exciting top of the table here in the LCS. We do have one more game before we close out the day. It's Evil Geniuses taking on Immortals right after this.
5G ultra wideband. Wow.
The new Samsung Galaxy S21 is on Verizon 5G ultra wideband, available in parts of many cities.
It's ridiculously fast.
Buy Samsung Galaxy S21 plus 5G. Get one on us. Only on Verizon.